Okay, it's time to get really excited as I think that we're gonna get the fattest move out of the fattest moves that we're going to see in this market. And in this video, I want to go over the sentiment in the market because the lower the sentiment, the better. That's more confirmation that we're going up. And although the market has been going up a little bit, yeah, sentiment isn't great yet, right? Why is that? That's mostly because Ethereum is still lagging and therefore altcoins are still lagging and people think that it's dead and yeah, they're not here, right? So let's go over that. Let's get over a couple comments. And also Friday, this is releasing. So again, a little teaser for you guys so you'll know what you can find on Spotify and YouTube by then. For those who are wrecked with crypto.
You blame the markets, you blame your favorite influencer for your fuck-ups. You blame your neighbors, blame your dog, you blame your mother. Let's not be responsible, let's just blame each other.
All right. So yeah, that's coming. Let me know what you think of it once it comes out. Put a little work in it and it should be good, should be good. So the market right now, okay? Let's go over that. Let's go over the comments that I got on the channel. I occasionally like to do that to measure how things are looking at the retail side. But also let's talk a little bit more about Altseason. I've been talking about it lately much because it's now more of a matter like, hey, let the whole market go up first before we talk about altcoins in general. But I do think it's important that you have your expectations correct, right? Like that you should not think, in my opinion, that altcoins will only run if Bitcoin goes to 160K or whatever. If we look, this is the Bitcoin dominance and it's coded by the colors and that says how high the risk is. And with every asset, the higher the risk, the more of a selling indicator, the lower the risk, the more of a buying indicator. And although you can sell Bitcoin dominance, it is something that you could look at like, okay, if the Bitcoin dominance is that high, it should probably go down. And that's Altseason. Right now, the Bitcoin dominance currently sits at a risk of 0.93, which is high, like really high, right? If we only look at the risk of 0.9 and between 0.9 and 1, then this is what we get. So every single time the Bitcoin dominance was this high, it had a drastic fall. There's no exception out there, right? Now, the cool thing as well as in the 2017-18 alt season, mostly 17, you see that it wasn't even that high, right? Then we have to go all the way to 0.7 risk. We are higher than that right now. So this is telling us like, hey, yeah, can it go higher? Sure, right? But overall, the risk reward is getting out of hand. If this was an altcoin, I would have sold this already. Right? And this is how you should look at it, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you can try to time the top, like the Bitcoin dominance can go a little higher and calling for Altseason is a little too soon, maybe this and that. On the other hand, it's also not something that you want to be too late with. I'd rather be a little bit too early, right? Because if again, like right here, right, the Bitcoin dominance went all the way to 0.90, right? If you here were waiting for it to go to 1, you would never got there, right? And this whole alt season was for nothing for you. So therefore, I feel like now is the best moment ever. And could the moment in a week be even better? Sure, right? But that's a matter of timing the top and the bottom, which we should not try to do. Now, if we look at wrong one, if we look at the retail in the market right now, so the social metrics, how many people are watching YouTube, subscribing, following on Twitter, etc., you can see that this is awfully low right now, right? It's sitting really at cycle lows at the moment. It's pretty much 0, right? The last time it was this low was here. That was right before this big run up. And the time before that was here where we were chopping a little bit, right? And the time before that was, actually here, it wasn't even that low, like the 2018 bear market lows, right? So the amount of retail and the sentiment is confirming that this is an opportunity that you get maybe once every 4 years, right? But yeah, that's kind of it. So yeah, most people we cannot help because they are not watching this. But if you're watching this, I can only say congratulations, because you are here in the best possible time of the crypto market ever, really. So that's really insane. Now, if we look at, boo, I lost it. Shit, I lost it. Usually my computer saves it. Well, we at least have some flowers right now. Great. But if we if you look at the top indicators for Bitcoin, like the Pew multiple, the Pi cycle top indicator, all these things, the MVRV Z score, etc., none of them have flashed yet, right? Meaning that it is like very unlikely that the top is in. Like not every indicator is going to be right. Of course, there's always 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 indicators that are going to be wrong, but that all of them going to be wrong, that's a little I don't know, unrealistic to expect maybe. So this all looking fantastic right here actually, and yeah, it's just a great time to be alive. So let's get into some comments. Overall, lately trying to give as many different reasons on the channel as possible to show why this is the best fucking possible time to be really, really, really bullish in this market, especially on altcoins. You know, apart from everything that I already showed multiple times, like that, you know, the stochastic RSIs are all oversold on Bitcoin. It's oversold on altcoins. It's oversold on altcoins on the Bitcoin pair. It is overbought on USDT dominance. It's oversold on the others dominance. It's oversold or overbought on the Bitcoin. Like everything is looking perfect. The DXY, the dollar, is sitting lower as what it has been this whole cycle. And this cycle, we have seen some good runs in the altcoin market. So, you know, it's absolutely insane out there, the opportunity that's here. And in my opinion, I've been in this market for a while, but I cannot really actively remember a time where everything was so obvious as it is right now. It's I don't know, man. It's easy mode right now. So yeah, let's get into some couple things right here. Hi, sir. Are you looking for professional, attractive thumbnail? No, thanks, sir. Love you. You're saying always the same. Just great video. I appreciate you, man. Always taking the time to respond with that. I love that. Somebody said, great stuff. Hoping you can put together a video on some of your chart formulas. I really like the others, BTC and such. In the Alpha Factory, I have a trading view course of 6 videos so far, where I'm gonna show you how I draw my support, resistance, but also the best charts to take a look at and how to use them to come to certain conclusions and how to combine that chart with that chart to be like, oh, wow, that's interesting. So there are alpha plays for sure. So therefore it's in the Alpha Factory. I will put some things on the YouTube channel as well, but there you really have a full course of all of that. Somebody said, I ran completely out of money. I haven't been able to DCA and I'm pretty pissed, lol. I get that. If you look at these prices right now, and if you maybe also understand the fact that this is a real opportunity and you don't have money to buy with, that can be a little frustrating. What I can tell you, there are always ways to make free money. I do some giveaways occasionally. For example, there is a pre-save link down below in the comments and in the pinned comments as well, to my new song that I've just shilled at the beginning of the video, and I'll pick 3 people that win $25 if they just pre-save it, cost you nothing. But also you can do airdrop farming, you can play to earn games, you can get an extra job. I don't know if that's possible, and however I can fill that in for you, of course, but there are always ways. But there's also a possibility, which we also shared in the Alpha Factory, like you can shovel coins, right, to make more coins. Like eventually the market will go up, but that will only benefit you if you have a good bag of coins. And how do you get more coins without necessarily buying them? Well, one trade that we shared, for example, was buy some Sidus with Prime, right? And this was my first target where to buy, and this was my second target where to buy. Both targets got hit. Now it's here, so you should be sitting on a good bag of Sidus right now, which you can now maybe sell for Prime again if you want, and then you have a big bag of Prime. But you can do this with anything, right? You can look like, hey, how is Joe doing against AVAX? And there you see how Joe is doing against AVAX, and you can see like, oh, maybe somewhat of a double bottom. I don't know. It's still in a downtrend. Let's TA it. But then you can come to the conclusion like, hey, is it worth to buy or sell a certain coin for another, right? If you look at Tau against Render, for example, how is Tau doing against Render, right? You can always make more out of it, right? And I do honestly think that we are going to get such a huge rally in the next couple months that now is maybe the last period to do the final preparation to fine-tune everything in your portfolio. Like, in hindsight, you will look back and be like, oh, I should have done that and I could have done it perfect. You will always be like that, but I do think that there are some adjustments you can always make. Yeah, so somebody responded on all the charts you showed, you decided not to show the stock market. Why not? So I said in this video, it's mostly about how alts will go up based on the current money in the crypto market, which is not related to the macro. And he said, but everything you said is related to macro. Look, eventually, without the macro, crypto won't really move like it moves, right? But in that case, every crypto video should be a macro video, right? And I don't want to bore people with that. Overall, I occasionally look at the M2. I look at what the Fed is saying. I'll do that more and more often. I'm looking at the DXY, the dollar. That's all macro related, right? What I don't really do is indeed look at stocks, right? If the macro is looking good, then I know that that's good for crypto, right? And probably stocks will do fine in that case as well. But I'm not the type of person that looks at the S&P or the NASDAQ and be like, oh, that line is broken or to the upside, and that's how crypto is going to move. Crypto doesn't move because of the S&P or the NASDAQ. It moves because of the macro, right? There's more to that. And that's, I think, way more interesting than looking at certain stocks, in my opinion. Okay, another beautiful comment. Bullish video. Somebody said, wait for 50 or 60K Bitcoin. He is stupid. Look, that you don't agree, that's fine. I don't know if that's stupid. What I think is that you should now look at what's the risk reward, right? What direction is the market most likely to head? Everything is screaming way higher, right? Could it be that it goes lower in the meantime? Yeah, that's a possibility. Although 50, 60K for Bitcoin is at least 50K, I think is really low, right? But also you should consider like, hey, I'm not buying until 50K. Cool. What if we never get there and the market does go on the pretty obvious run that it's going to get? Are you willing to miss out on a bull market because you wanted to time a potential correction? Doesn't seem like that. It's kind of the same like if we are at the top of the bull market, right? How people did that, right? Like, let's wait for 100K and then sell. Like, yeah, it never came, right? It's now kind of the same, but the opposite. Let's wait for that low price and then buy. Yeah, what if it never comes, right? So I don't think it's stupid to make sure that you have a position in case that the market goes up, which seems pretty likely to me. And 50, 60K is specific. I don't see it. You could have your reasons, and that's fine. I don't see it. But even if you have very, very, very clear reasons, there's not a guarantee. And again, if it goes down there, it's around a 40% correction. But it's also very likely to me that Bitcoin goes to like 180K or whatever, right? And the altcoin market goes way higher. So do you really want to miss out on hundred of percentages of gains for a potential 40% correction. Again, risk reward. What you're saying is too much risk for me. There's a risk of missing out, right? Somebody said, I hope you, I hope so. I just bought 2 million Beam tokens. It's a lot, man. That's like 12K worth of Beam tokens. I think you will do very well with that, by the way. Let me check. Beam 2025 portfolio. And let's get to Beam. It's also a position that I have. Yeah, I mean, look, Beam is looking like it's a little on the line. But hey, with everything pointing upwards, I'm hopeful. And from this point, Beam, and that's the beautiful thing. It's not only Beam, it's with a lot of altcoins. Let's not talk about Altseason now, right? Let's just talk about altcoins going in a relief rally, right? Where things just have a relief, right? And I think that's the least we can expect in the post-halving year for altcoins. Let's say they go on a relief rally back to their non-Altseason all-time high. So let's say for some reason Altseason is canceled, right? And they just go back here. For Beam, that's a 6.5x. Bro, that's in my opinion worst case scenario for a lot of altcoins, actually, right? Because again, Altseason is more likely than not. But even if not, then it showed like, hey, without Altseason, this is what we can do, right? That's fucking great, man. So let's talk about Altseason real quick, because again, I haven't spoken about it a lot lately, but it doesn't mean that it's off the table. But again, it's not where people's focus is right now. And it shouldn't be, right? Like, and why not? Again, because we don't need it. You can, like, without Altseason, make 6x on a lot of coins, right? Like, so, okay, cool. Altseason could only be extra, right? And I know that people are kind of sick of hearing the word Altseason, but it's only because it didn't happen yet. But that doesn't mean that it won't happen, right? If you look at the Bitcoin dominance here, for example, right? Here, people were Altseason, fucking wrecked, right? And then we went down, people thought, oh, yay, Altseason. And then we went up again on the Bitcoin dominance. People were like, never mind, let's not talk about it again. And then bam, it happened, right? I think that this time won't be that different, actually, okay? I mean, the Bitcoin dominance is still on a parabolic run, and that's fine. And again, it could go higher. But as we just saw with the risk, there is not really a better time to bet on the fact that it will go down. There never has been, actually. So if people are now being like, okay, yeah, Altseason won't happen and you should be on the Bitcoin train, then you are perfectly counter trading like what you should do. Like you are doing the perfect fuck up, actually. And yeah, it will come, in my opinion, especially with what the Fed announced when it comes to the balance sheet. Like I said, the things are becoming more and more obvious while we are still in the perfect preparation phase, right? That's the golden combination of crypto being easy. Like, the risk reward has never been better, in my opinion. So if we, like, again, let's speculate, right? If we get an Altseason, which I think is 95% likely, in my opinion, where could it take us? It depends, of course, on how low the Bitcoin dominance goes. But let's take a look, like Bitcoin dominance. It's how Bitcoin does against the rest of the market. But I don't care how Bitcoin does against the dollar. That has nothing to do with altcoins, right? So USDC, USDT. I also don't really care how Bitcoin is doing against high caps like XRP and Solana. I'm not in those coins, right? I want to make more money. So let's take a look at others, everything outside of the top 10 and how that's doing against Bitcoin, because then we have a more realistic expectation of how the actual altcoins will do. Now, this is still going down. That's fine. Again, the lower it gets, the better your entry, the more gains you will make, right? Now, if we look at this, what I see on this chart right here, the weekly again being completely oversold, but not just a little oversold, completely, not as much as here, or more than here, more than here. Yeah, even more than here. It's more looking like somewhat like this, right? Like the really oversold right here. So we at least can expect a decent move already, right? But that's not an alt season. Alt season is where they durably outperform, right? This alt season number 2, and this was alt season number 1. We are not in alt season number 3 yet. And a lot of people think like, well, it's taking too long, right? It won't happen. Look, it's been 1100 days, right? If you take it from this stop till when it really started, been about the same, right? So it's not that different, actually, if you ask me, right? Now, if I look at this chart, I'm like, okay, you know, can this, right, the dominance for the others market at least go to this level? Well, yeah, I mean, that's a very cautious expectation, right? Because so far, every alt season has made new highs. And again, that won't go on forever because it can go above 100, right? There's not more than 100%. So let's be very cautious and let's say, okay, it's not even going to make a new all-time high, right? But it's going to go to 35% of Bitcoin's market cap. And even better, we can look at the others' dominance. This is the dominance for these altcoins against the rest of the market. Right now, the total crypto market has a market cap of 2.7 trillion. This could easily be 3 trillion soon. So let's round it up, say 3 trillion, right? If we now look at others' dominance, we can look at this. It's at least, right, the worst case scenario, if we do not get an alt season, right, if we don't get it, the worst case scenario, what is that? That it's kind of like ranging like this again, right? We have a moment where it's ranging, that's boring. We have a moment where it goes above this, right? That's where the alt season actually is confirmed. And we have a moment where we go below it. That's a real bear market where altcoins get wrecked extra hard, right? Now we are ranging. So let's say worst case scenario, we just go to the top of the range. It's 12%, right? Cool. Let's say, and I'm now speaking worst case, right? Let's say the total crypto market goes to 3 trillion. For some reason, it's not going higher than that, right? Then altcoins are performing 12%, right, against that 3 trillion. That's 360 billion, if my math's correct, right? So worst case scenario I can imagine is that the altcoin market goes here, right? And let me draw a line right there, 360, right? So even my worst case scenario is going pretty close to the cycle highs. So even if everything is different and things will never recover and whatever happens and the quantitative tightening stopping has no effect on the market all of a sudden anymore, etc., you can still get a really good pump on your coins if you buy them quite low, right? Now, in all, like, what I'm gonna say right now is not even my bull case. But in all honesty, I do expect this thing to go way higher, right? So far, this has been making new highs after new highs. You can also look at the Fibonacci tool, and that says that the golden zone is coming in over here. Therefore, this green box over there, right? And this is sitting about 15%. Right now, if we look at the total crypto market, going above 3 trillion should be a piece of cake, right? We are at this moment of macro uncertainty, Trump doing Trumpy things, no money printing at all. Everything can only get better. We are still already sitting at that 3 trillion already, basically. For the total crypto market to go higher than this, and let's say go to 5 trillion, it seems more likely to me than 3 trillion. Right, so let's say 5. And this is not even my bull case. This is just something that I feel like, okay, this is at least likely, right? So 15% of 5 trillion is 750, right? So that should take this here, right? 750 should take it here. Way new all-time highs already. Yeah, and my real alt season scenario is a little different because so far, if you look again at the altcoin dominance, right, you can see that it has been in an uptrend steadily against Bitcoin, right? It goes in an uptrend, it goes in somewhat of a bear market, it ranges for a long time, right? Where it finds some support, then it goes into a new alt season, it goes into a bear market, and it finds support for a long time, right? Now, yeah, you know, what you can do is you can apply all kind of Fibonacci tools to it. For example, you can look like, hey, how did it go over here, right? And here it went to the 200 level, basically, right? Well, we can look at that right now as well and be like, okay, if we draw this and it goes to the 200 level, then it gets to around 30%. Oh, happens to be where this okay, 30%, right? Again, is this out of the question? It's what happened so far. That should be the most likely outcome, the things that always have proven to happen, right? So this is nothing weird, actually, in my opinion. So 30% dominance for the altcoin market, right? And that's not weird. I mean, if Bitcoin goes to, let's say, this level right here, right? Like 40%, 40%. Yeah, then we have 40% out of the market that exists in Bitcoin, 30% in the altcoin market, and then we still have 30% left, which is basically the high caps and the stables. It doesn't sound so unrealistic to me, to be honest, right? I mean, you see that in an alt season, Bitcoin does get sold off really hard, right? Because there's euphoric. People don't want to be in Bitcoin. Bitcoin can maybe make 50 or 100%. Who cares? Altcoins are mooning all over the place. Let's step in alts. If you went through an alt season, you understand that sentiment and it makes all sense. If you haven't been through it, then you maybe cannot really imagine that feeling. But that's kind of what happens, right? So if we have 30% dominance on the altcoin market, which I don't think is that weird, yeah, 30% of what could the total, market be in this case? Oh, I mean, again, 5 trillion is a possibility. I think it can go maybe higher than that, but let's stick with that 5 trillion. Yeah, that's 1.5 trillion for the others, right? 1.5 trillion. So this is not even with a weird ass target for the total crypto market. Really, it's not even 2x from here, right? It's mostly a little money injection, which happens from lowering the rates and money printing and people being bullish on the market. But for the rest, it's more a shift of the money that's already there, right? And that could take it here. You know how much money we made on this, right? So imagine on this, right? So I hope this creates a picture of making a fuck ton of money doesn't require anything unrealistic, really. But yeah, again, it's hard to imagine when we are not there, and therefore it won't happen. Okay, but that's exactly the feeling that we need right now. So back to a couple comments. Man of a president, thanks. Wouldn't be wise, but I appreciate it. I have at least one voter. I wouldn't vote on myself. Good sign that we bounce off the 50 weekly weekly moving average. It's always good if we bounce off strong support, definitely. I think this is a bot comment. I'm not sure though. If you are not, then great. Sidus AI will break all-time high. Sidus did something new with AI, but I do think that you mean Sidus, just Sidus, right? Look, yeah, it depends on how you look at it, right? I think market cap, it's now sitting at 9 or 12 million. The all-time high is 150. So could it do a 12x. Possible. It should be possible if Sidus does well. Price-wise, let me put this in Dutch, by the way. Otherwise, everybody's looking at this like, what the fuck is this? Or in English. Price-wise, however, I don't want to say the word impossible because, hey, it's crypto, but I wouldn't bet on it, right? Because that's from where we are right now, around a 200x. Right, and that has to do with token inflation, right? So for the people that maybe watching at stuff like that, or maybe newer or haven't thought about that, token inflation matters, and a lot of prices that you have seen in the past we're never gonna see again, right? Because there are now more tokens hitting the market. So the project and the token could have the same valuation, but the price of the token itself is lower because there's more tokens to divide that valuation over. Slay. Somebody said, nah, man, Bitcoin will get rejected on the 87.5K resistance level. Great so far, sir. And we'll go down to 73, bottom for the third time. It's quite specific. Also, my guess between now and 2 weeks, and then that's so fucking specific, bro. But the nah, man, doesn't really apply. I said in that video as well, I do think that we're gonna get a dip first before we're gonna see that lag, right? So my expectation at this moment is we're gonna see a huge fucking rally over the coming couple months, probably. But over the next 2 weeks, maybe we're gonna see one more correction that is a buyable correction, right? Not every dip is one to buy. This one will be one to buy. But going down to 73. Look, I mean, going down to 73, it's. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to use terms as impossible. I mean, it could happen, but is it something that's on my bingo card? I think that if we are going to 73, that it either will be a wick, and if it's not a wick, if it's on closing base, then we should be like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Because then we are breaking this line that we just broke out of. We are breaking this horizontal support right here. We are making a lower low again. And yeah, then there are probably a lot of other moving averages that are broken as well. But yeah, let's find out, man. On the daily stochastic, like the last time we reset it, it went down with 15-16%, right? If we do that right now, we're going to 74. Yeah, it could come close, but I don't think we're going that low. But maybe you're right, man. I don't know. Buy peanut? Nope. Look, peanut is like I'm not buying meme coins at all at this moment, by the way. Why? Because meme coins have just shown lately, like, wow, you can go down so hard. There were people that invest in crypto based on what's hype and when it's hype. And meme coins are the perfect combination to buy the top in the worst projects out there, right? So yeah, if you bought here, then you are now, like, if you bought $1,000 right here, then you are now sitting at what, like $65, right? And it might be that that's now a good buying opportunity because it is that low. But coins that are that fucking wrecked, they also leave a very bad reputation behind. And I think for a lot of these coins, it is really hard to recover from that. And people will look at this and be like, okay, fuck that. Let me do a safety buy, right? Let's get into the renders. That will trigger a utility run, I think. Now I had a meme coin. I had SPX. I just sold it for Tau, by the way, a couple days ago. Meme coins will probably have their run, but together with the market. But personally, I don't see the benefit of buying meme coins at this moment, right? Because they are so low. Yeah, the quality alts are also low, right? If you look at Beam, it's low. If you look at AVAX, it's low. If you look at Aerodrome, it's low. If you look at Ethereum, it's low. If you look at ChainGPT, it's low. Joe, low. Seedify, low. Everything is low, right? So we are now at the stage of the market, like, why should you take risk, right? Because you can get the same reward with shit that doesn't wreck you that hard. So it's not for me, man. But I get that it's for other people, probably. Sigma already 2x. I don't know Sigma, but yeah, there are a lot of coins that are already 2x in the latest move. Yeah, sure, no problem. Some people, they spam that moon thing protocol, which is a fucking scam. Of course, I have a lot of scams, right? Jesus, I try to keep track of it, but man. Somebody said you made fun of me when I said the top was in January. I don't know if I made fun of you, but I sometimes read these comments and I respond to them. But I said I still do. I don't make fun of you. And if I did, sorry, don't mean to make fun of you. But I am saying like, hey, if you think that the top is in, then I don't know what it's based on, really. Like, again, it's getting so much more obvious in every chart-wise, sentiment-wise, macro-wise. Like, I'm really sometimes sitting here and be like, how can people think that that the top is in? Like, have you been in crypto before? Have you looked at charts? Have you looked at the macro? Are you following what the Fed is doing? Are you understanding the moves that Trump is making? Are you looking at the dollar right now? Are you like, bro, maybe this could be a career killer, what I'm gonna do right now. But maybe in a couple months or in a year, it will turn out that I'm wrong. But I will tell you this. The top is not in. The top is not in. Yeah, and for a couple altcoins, the top might be in. Like, not everything will recover, of course, right? But overall, we are going way higher. And it is fucking obvious, right? Now, people will probably quote this out and cut this out if it somehow turns out not to be right and make fun of me forever and I can work at the McDonald's for the rest of my life. But I'm pretty confident enough to say that like that. I was at 10K and I didn't take profits and I just won 20K now. I have 5K and I just want to make my 10K. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, people often they buy at a not perfect point, they lose, and they feel like, let me just get my initial back, right? But you should understand that the market is now so low. If you look at Joe, for example, right? If you look where it is, how, like, do you understand that it's super easy for this coin to 4x, 5x from this point? And I'm not talking about my ultimate targets, but that's at least easy, right? Like, why do I say that? It's 17 cents, right? When it was at 60 cents, it pumped with 60% in a week, from 60 cents to $1 in a week, in a single week, right? I'm not even talking about this wick all the way to 120, like a 2x basically. But if a coin with so much liquidity, right, at 60 cents can do 2x in 2 weeks, then how can that same project with way less liquidity not at least do a 4x at 17 cents, right? It is very easy from this point, right? And it will probably be a slow grind like we saw over here. Like, this kind of the same pattern where we have this stop right here, the stop right here, and it's, grinds down, finds some support here, grinds down, finds support right here, and here finds support, bounce off of it, right? And then slowly grinds up and has some red in between and a lot of green again. And we have a moment where it's super euphoric. And like, before you know, we are there, right? Like, you won't even notice really. So yeah. We need dumbasses in crypto to dump later on. The more the better. Definitely. It is player first player. We need new people. We need people that are bearish at bottoms. We need people that are euphoric at tops. Without them, we cannot make money. I love these people for sacrificing themselves for us. Appreciate that you want to be broke so we can live our good lives. You're like Jesus, right? Love you. But yeah, fuck you, Jesus. I mean, if you don't want to listen to, like, if you are in this community, I want you to do well. Like, I don't care about the crypto banter community or whatever. The people that feel like, let's just blindly follow the sentiment and be scared. But like, I can't help you. But yeah. Such an important message. DCA profits on the way up. Harder said than done. Well, it's harder done than said, but I understand what you mean. I'm sure Amanda will be reminding us, yeah, I will be talking about that all the time. And then people will probably be like, it's too early. Yeah, but if you bought low, then you are in enough profit to take maybe a little bit too early, right? You used to talk about, yeah, okay, so the other chart. So what's my alt-season target for others? Talked about that a little bit, but on average, it's about 2 trillion, right? I feel like, man, the scenario that I just gave of 1.5, that's my, how do you say that? That's a scenario that I see as just a realistic alt season, but nothing crazy. And if we are really gonna follow the trend line that we have been following so far, then it's around 2 trillion. But it could be a little better than usual, right? That people feel like better. It's not even gonna be close to usual, right? But it could also be better than usual. I would say around 2 trillion, right? But it's not that, like, don't stick to that and make sure that you are wrecked if it doesn't happen, right? Like, if it just gets here, I'm also good, right? It plays your eggs well. So, guys, I want to wrap it up. It's been long enough. I don't even have time for this today. So, thanks for watching. Make sure Friday, the song Blame Yourself, Full Motion, Blame Yourself. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, YouTube, whatever. Do check it out. And just comment something under this video. I'll take it in one of the next videos. So thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you guys very soon.